Trapped by the belief that I'm not good enough, bound by the limitations and the lies that consumed my world, this was me. It wasn't until I took the biggest leap in my life to know and trust the power within. And it was at that moment I made a choice. My past will not define me anymore. Hello, I am Teri Cardula, and I know I am not alone in this. Over the years, I have found that the number one mistake that we make is that we get in the way of our own success story. Yes, I said it. On this show, together we'll tackle limiting beliefs, self sabotage, getting stuck, fear, doubt, overwhelm, and the imposter syndrome. Join us on this journey designed to transport you beyond your limitations to a world where anything is possible. This is Talking with Teri. Hello, and welcome back to Talking with Teri, where we have powerful conversations to transform your life and your business. And oh my heavens, we had this rock star on our show a while back, and we're inviting her back to, speak more truth into her story. Elen Sentier, The French Way. She is a best-selling author of a British native shamanism. She's also a transpersonal psychotherapist, helping clients tap into their true selves, rewild their hearts, and do what lights them on fire. So welcome back to the show, and let's dive in and hear more about you.
Thank you very much, Teri. It's absolutely gorgeous to be back. And
love it.
I feel like this, like I know I'm in Britain and you're in Colorado, but it's almost like we travel anyway. We go anyway, and I so love
that. I feel like I'm sitting in your like dining room kitchen with you, enjoying a little cup of tea with you.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Well, it's great to have you. And so when we were last talking, we were talking about just having people step into their power, really owning that, and even though that can be uncomfortable. And we didn't even necessarily tap into your overcomer story. And at the very end of the last time we met, you like bring up your hand and you said, I struggle with rheumatoid arthritis and osteoporosis. And for those that are not listening or just listening, I would invite you to go over to YouTube, check out this
wave
one.
my hand.
My hand is a claw. And you can see, and and she said, like you said, you your whole body's like that. So I mean, that has been, I'm certain, has had its fair share of challenges, pain, all of it. I'm sure, down the medical world and all of that stuff. So let's hear, kind of your story and what you've, and you mentioned it ties back into what your purpose is now. So I'd love to hear your story.
Yeah, it actually brought me into doing this instead of what I was doing. I was doing two things. I was a software engineer, designer, big stuff, bit different.
I mean, like that's just like so like different. I mean, if you could get any further polar opposite, I mean.
Like and yet, I mean, I know you like quantum like I do, and so actually there are all sorts of links in there, but that isn't where we're going today. But it was very, very different. I loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved the challenges and everything that it was giving me. And then rheumatoid arthritis, which is the main thing I've got, it comes on overnight, or it can do, and it did with me. It comes on very quickly, and it's an autoimmune disease. So it's your autoimmune system that has gone wrong, is not working anymore, not being efficient. So this happened. And as I said, I was being a software engineer in London, great fun, good job, good team, all this stuff. I was also, I've always danced all my life. And at the time I was actually dancing for Arlene Phillips, if you know who Arlene Phillips is.
Yeah.
And I couldn't overnight.
Wow.
My joints just swelled up. I was in pain. I couldn't move. And I had to go to the hospital and start to get sorted out. Now, I'd started writing about 10 years before, and I knew, this is the intuition thing, I knew I had to write, but I couldn't leave my job. And, I didn't really want to stop earning the money because it was good money. And all of the things that you think, I'll do it later. I'll do it when I get around to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a terribly stubborn woman. So every time, you know, Otherworld or the universe or whatever you call it, sort of saying, Ellen, you ought to be doing this. Ellen, you ought to be doing this. I was saying, yeah, I will. Later. And I feel now I'm over the really horrible bits, that it was like they wiped my legs out from under me. It's like, you're going to do this. You are not prevaricating anymore. You are going to get out there and we'll stop you. So they stopped me doing the things that I liked, and I had to get through the rheumatoid arthritis. Well, I'm also, I'm reasonably ancient, and I have no intention.
Wise, right? Wise.
I have no intention of retaring and going for bingo and afternoon TV or anything like that.
I love your spirits.
So I thought, well, what am I going to do? What can I do? And as serendipity happens, you know, I ran into this man who was giving a lecture on transpersonal psychotherapy, which I knew about a bit before, and I'd had some psychotherapy training work very roughly before. And he just hooked me. And he could have been reading the telephone directory. And I was going, yes, you, I want you doing. And so I signed up immediately and ended up, you know, doing my psychotherapy or psychology degree. And I would never have done that without the rheumatoid arthritis literally wiping my legs out. And I'm so glad that it happened, because yeah, I loved what I did before, but I'm loving what I do now. 10 times as much.
Isn't it pretty profound, like how those things that we don't ever see coming, like just changes our trajectory? And it's even juicier, you know, if we allow ourselves. I mean, I think there's a lot of us, myself included, that we are digging our heels in long and hard to resist it, because it's like we're being guided, but we're like, no, like I mentioned to you offline that, you know, I was speaking to a spiritual coach, I would say, and she does birth charts. And so it's more from the astrological perspective. And she read my birth chart and she had said, you know, I out of all these years I've been doing this, I've never seen someone had so many communication things in this one house. Don't ask me what that means. And I was like, well, and she's like, you're supposed to be communicating. And I'm like, well, you got the wrong chart. Like, I think you messed up. Like, I'm serious. Like, that's not happening. Like, language has been very difficult for me. And so a year later, things had started falling into place. And then I was like, oh my gosh, the crazy lady who said it's communication, there might have been a shred of truth in it. So I reached back out to her, but you know, it's one of those things that I didn't even like see coming. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, out of all the people, that's probably the least, I don't know, not deserving, but like it shouldn't be me, right? Like, out of all the people, you know, I'm the one who struggles with it, not the one, but it becomes like our life path. And what we're overcoming becomes the thing that can serve and heal and help and transform other people's lives. And we don't necessarily fully understand. I truly don't fully understand this fully right now. I see elements of it and and it's coming together. But I think for a lot of us, it's like that resistance of just allowing ourselves to be guided. So I'm grateful that you was able to do that transition. And now look at what you're doing. You're really helping tons of people. Whereas not that the programming wasn't, you know,
it was different. It was different. But it is much more fun. And it is, I get the sort of thing you sort of said, well, it shouldn't be me. I didn't quite have that.
You know, for folks that are in that position where maybe they are getting the little like nudges or the little whispers that are like, hey, like this is where you're supposed to be going towards. And maybe they are showing up with that resistance or with the maybe uncertainty. I think uncertainty is a great way of framing that, because I think that is the biggest, you know, challenge, because
there's not like a solid footing, or it doesn't feel like a solid footing. And I just had this conversation just a couple of days ago, actually. And the lady goes, I know what I'm doing right now is not what I'm meant to do, but I don't know what's next. And that scares the bejeebers out of me because, and I said, I just told her, I said, keep asking before you go to bed, ask out loud. Now it has to be verbally out loud, in my opinion.
I quite agree. Yeah.
And so you ask the question, and I like coming from a place of what I call generative questions, like, why is it so easy for me to blank? Or what would it take for me to receive blank? What would it take for me to receive a download, an insight, awareness around what my next step is, right? Or whatever, just asking it in a question format, because then we get ourselves out and then we start to project that out. So what would you share in addition to that, that could help support people that are in that transitional moment of like getting ready to go into the quote, the uncertainty, and it scares the bejeebers out of them. And
Absolutely.
as you know, when we get scared, we go into, the, sympathetic nervous system, and we shrink down, and we, we clam up, and we create anxiety. And we, then, from a law of attraction kind of perspective, we're doing the opposite of what is really going to contribute to us in an energetic way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what would you share in addition to that?
Well, it's pushing you out of your comfort zone all the time, and that is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best things you can possibly find to do is someone that you really feel chemistry with, who has done this before you. And this may be somebody like me, or like Teri, or somebody that but somebody who's done it before, and sort of say, how did you do this? And having somebody, the word therapist comes from the Greek word theraps, and that means somebody who walks alongside, not in front pulling you, not behind shoving you, but walks alongside on your journey. So try your best to find someone who can help you with that, who can walk alongside you. And a little tip, lots of us have an animal friend who lives with us. If you have, ask your animal friend.
I love it.
They understand you. It's like, I have trouble with my cat because she gets what I'm talking about. I'm just lousy at cat. I really am. Pigeon cat is about the best I can do. But if I just sort of sit with her and she's in my lap purring, or she lies beside me on the bed, and Kelly, I'm really stuck with this. And there'll be and it's like, if you do a quick breathing exercise, I just sort of go out, and the answers then have a space to come in. And animals are really, really good at this. I've got a friend who does it with her horse. So you're not stuck with the little ones.
And I think that's a great reframe. For those that did not listen to the first episode with you, I would encourage you to go listen to it, because we did a great breathing exercise, and it just was really bringing us back to the present moment. But I think it's hard it's not impossible, I would say, but it's harder to get clarity, to have those downloads with a cluttered, chaotic mind. There's no space, right? But if we allow ourselves to free up the space, and the exercise that you did was just it was like under 30 seconds. And it was just it's a simple breathing exercise that just closed our eyes, took, 3 deep breaths in, and just paid attention to our 5 senses. And so doing that exercise would be greatly recommended and strongly encouraged to do before asking these generative questions, or just asking animals, nature, God, spirit, angels, whatever you believe in,
whoever,
to have some more clarity.
It doesn't have to be an animal. Trees people find really works well. Just go and sit with a tree.
I think sometimes we especially when we're in the logical world, like we're like, wait, what? But I think we go back to the energetics, right? We go back to the energetic world. And I tell you, I need to commission someone to create a painting for me that shows, like, in this painting, everything having energy and having these vibrations, because we cannot see it from our naked eye, but every single thing around your environment right this second, whether you're in the car, whether you're in your home, whether you're out in nature, wherever you're at, there's energy, and we're
Yeah.
emitting all of this, including ourselves, are emitting this energy. And so
Yeah.
we can tap into that energy, life force energy. We don't even have to tap into it. We are it. Like
Yes,
we're
we
already
are.
connected to it,
We're on
right?
it already. Yeah.
And so just becoming conscious of it and just being intentional with it it's a game changer.
Yep, it is. It is indeed. Yeah.
So I
You're
think
connected.
just asking the question and
Yeah.
just being willing, being open, and allowing yourself to receive it. And it may not come in the way we think,
No.
the way we expect, the way we, want to control it to be. I mean, it can come from a complete stranger. I remember one time getting on this elevator one time, and this guy turns to me with I didn't engage in conversation with him, and he just said something to me, and I was like WTF, like what? Like, okay. And I'm just like, all right, thank you, angels. That was the weirdest thing that just happened, and I can't make this stuff up. Okay, all right, I'm just going to receive that as my message, and I'm going to go with it, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So
I've
I love
had those myself, and yeah, I think most people have had them.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe weeks later, you suddenly go,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
That's what it meant. Or sometimes the clarity doesn't always come with it. Let's be real. It doesn't always come with it. And you're like, what? But when it happens, just I like documenting things and again, in your evidence journal, showing things up, and we may not have clarity right that second, but it does come, it does turn into focus. It does come into focus, over time. So
it does.
Yeah, I love it. It's so brilliant. Okay. I want to honor your time and been most delightful. Thank you for joining us across the globe. So delightful. I look forward to staying in touch with you, and just thank you for just your brilliance and your wisdom and the juiciness that you bring to this planet and this world. And I can't wait. We'll have to find a time to connect in person someday when I'm over in your neck of the woods.
That would be gorgeous. Thank you so much for having me, Teri. I've really enjoyed it.
So people can find you. What's your website again?
www.elensentier.com.
I love it. So we'll put that down in the show notes. And so thank you so much for being the brilliant light that you are. And we'll be in touch.
We will indeed. Bye for now.
I am so grateful that you joined me for this episode. If you've enjoyed this, then there's just one thing that I would like you to do. Click to subscribe and leave me a rating and review. As my way to thank you, let's connect for a free consultation. Just reach out to me at talkingwithteri, that's TERI.com, to book your time.